Welcome to my channel. So today we are going to revise a topic of class 10th, that is quadratic equation. And as we know, the matriculation examinations are coming. So I'm making some videos on the basic concept because the basic concept will help you for better understanding, like whenever you are doing the question, it will help you. Okay, now let's start with the quadratic equation. Now firstly, let's understand what is an equation. So before equation, I would like to talk about a term called expression. So expression is basically uh, when we express any situation in a variable form. Let's suppose I'm writing an expression. There is a number. Let's suppose the number is x. I doubled it. Okay. Then I add 5 to it. So this is a problem and I have represent that problem in an expression. So when I keep expression equals to something, let's suppose I'm keeping it equals to 0, then this expression will become equation. So when we express something equals to 0, then it becomes equation. So now let's understand the meaning of quadratic. So quadratic is basically, you have already done in your previous classes, the variable having the degree 2. So whenever there is an equation in which the highest degree is 2, then that equation is called quadratic equation. For example, we can write some random for 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. This is a quadratic equation. Okay, let's suppose x squared minus 9. This is again a quadratic equation. Okay, because here the highest power is 2. Okay, so let me draw a flow chart, like what are the things we are going to cover. So in the quadratic equation, we're basically having basically four types of questions. Firstly, the very first type of question that you have is factorizing the quadratic equation. Okay, after factorizing, we already have a formula, a derived formula, that is called discriminant method. Okay, the third thing we will talk about the nature of roots, and the last one is statement problem. Okay, so these are the things that we are going to cover in this chapter. Definitely, a quadratic equation, as we know, the highest power is 2. That means when we solve the quadratic equation, we got two zeros or two roots. Okay, so firstly, let's talk about how factorization occurs. So when we talk about the factorization, let's take a random example. I'm taking a random example. So 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 is equals to 0. As we know, this is a quadratic equation, and we have to find the roots or zeros. So both have same meaning. Okay, so for finding the roots or zeros, we'll factorize it. So what is the rule of factorization? Now listen very carefully. For factorization, we need two things. One is sum and second one is product. Okay, so product of these extreme numbers, 2 times 3. So positive 2 times positive 3 is 6, and the sum is minus 5. That means now you have to think any two numbers whose product is 6 and sum is minus 5. I'm just giving you 5 seconds. Okay, so yes, we have one numbers over here, -2 and -3. So whenever I add these numbers, then I got -5. When we multiply these numbers, then we got 6. So basically, this is also called splitting method because we are splitting the middle term. So minus 5x can be written as minus 2x minus 3x plus 3 is equals to 0. Okay, now I'm taking common from first two terms. So I can take 2 common as well as x common. So what I've left from here, I've left only x minus 1. Okay, so many times what happens, the students write 0 over here. They think we have already taken the whole 2x, then 0 will live. No. So whenever you are taking the whole quantity outside the bracket, we always left with 1. Again here, now listen carefully. Here we are having minus 3x. So whenever you have a minus, so whenever you take negative common, negative number, if you're taking negative number common, then the sign get reversed. So I can take 3 common from here. So basically I'm taking minus 3. What will happen? Then it become x minus 1. Okay, now as you see, x minus 1 is same. I can take this common. Then what we have left, 2x minus 3. The whole quantity is equals to 0. So that means either x minus 1 is equals to 0 or 2x minus 3 is equals to 0. So from here we can find the values x is equals to 1 or 2x is equals to 3, x is equals to 3 over 2. So these are the zeros of the given equation. So this method is called factorization method. Let me give you one random example. X square plus 5x plus 6. So this is an example in front of you. So I'm just giving you 1 minute or 2 minutes. You can try this question. Okay. So now let's move to the next type of concept that we have. The concept that we have is discrimination method. This is very easy method to solve the equation. So discrimination method, if I write the whole formula over here, that will be x is equals to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Now you will get confused that what is a, b and c. Okay, I'll explain. So basically a, b, c, if we write a quadratic equation in general form, that is ax square plus bx plus c. So whatever the coefficient with x square will be a, coefficient of x will be b, and that constant we will take it as c. That means if I take the previous example, the equation was x that was 2x square minus 5x plus 3 is equals to 0. Okay, so this is an example that we have already done and we know the roots. So but here what I'm going to do, I will check either we are getting the same answers or different. Okay, now from here can you identify a, b and c? Yes, a is 2, b is minus 5 and c is 3. So now we know, if we know the formula, simply put the values and find the answer. Okay, now I'm just scrolling it up. Now can you recall the formula? Yes. x is equals to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac over 2a. So here minus b is minus 5, so we'll write minus 5 plus minus under root. Why we are writing plus minus? So when we solve the equation, when we find the under root, as we know, quadratic is having two roots. So at one time we will use plus and second time we will use minus. So here b is minus 5 whole square minus 4 times 2 times 3 whole upon 2 times 2. Okay, now we will simplify this equation. Minus 5 times minus will be positive 5 plus minus under root minus 5 square is minus 25. No, it's positive 25. So whenever you have an even power, your answer will always positive. Minus 4 2s are 8, 8 3s are 24 over 4. Okay, now here x is equals to 5 plus minus 25 minus 24 is 1 over 4. Now do you know what is root 1? Very simple. Root 1 is 1. Okay, so as I already told you, for two values at one time we will keep plus and second time we will keep it minus. Okay, now x is equals to 6 over 4. Here x is equals to 4 over 4. Can you recall the answer of the equation that we've already solved? Okay, x is equals to, this is 3 by 2. Here this will be 1. Okay, so that means for solving a single equation we are having two methods. Okay, so in your question paper, if the teacher asks you to solve the quadratic equation using discriminant method, then you have to use discriminant method. If they are saying you have to use factorization method, then you have to use factorization method. If they haven't say anything, you can use any method. Okay, now I'm going further to understand the nature of root. This is very important. Let's understand nature of roots. Now let's understand what is nature. Nature means roots, basically the numbers that you are getting, either it is a integer or any rational number or a real number or a whole number or anything else. Okay, if you want to check without solving the whole equation, if you want to check the nature of roots, I have a very small formula. So as you know what is x is equals to, let's recall the discriminant formula. Minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Now from this formula, this portion will tell me what is the nature of roots. So this whole is denoted with d, that is discriminant, b square minus 4ac. Okay, now I have two conditions over here. What will happen if d is greater than 0? What will happen if d is equals to 0? Then what will happen if d is 0? Okay, now from the first part, d is greater than 0 means your discriminant is positive number. If your discriminant is 0, then what will happen? If your discriminant is less than 0, means a negative number, then what will happen? Now listen carefully. If your d is greater than 0, maybe 10, 15, 17, any number, then you will have two distinct means different, two distinct real numbers. Okay, and what will happen if it is 0? Yes, if it is 0, then you will get equal roots. That means if your one answer is 3, then your another answer will also 3. If your one answer is 7, then second root is also 7. Okay, now what will happen if the discriminant is less than 0? Okay, let me take you back. If you see, the b square minus 4ac is whole under root. Okay, now if any negative number is in under root, then we have imaginary roots. Okay, so we get some imaginary numbers that may or may not exist. Okay, so these imaginary numbers we will not solve it further. Okay, now can you find the nature of, let's talk about we don't know, let me write one example. So I have okay, so I have one question for you. This is an equation in front of you, and in the question they are saying this equation has equal roots. Now can you recall what will happen if your roots are equal? Yes, your discriminant will equals to 0. Now what is the value of d? That is b square minus 4ac. The whole value is also equals to 0. Can you find b from the equation? Yes. This is k square minus 4 times your a is 2, your c is 3 is equals to 0. K square 4 times 2, 8 times 3. So what it will be? 24 is equals to 0. Then your k square is equals to 24. That means k is equals to under root 24. But remember one thing, we already know that whenever we have a degree 2, that means the highest power is 2, it will always have two answers. So we will use plus minus. Okay, so these are very basic examples I have taken to make you understand the things. So if I recall the things, yes, factorization, we know we have to take care of the sum and the product. What would be the sum and what would be the product? For discriminant method, we have a direct formula. You need to remember, put the value and solve that. And then we understood what is the nature of a roots. Okay, then in our next video, I'm just going to take some more examples to make you understand what is factorization, like how we can do factorization of different questions, how we will use the discriminant method, and we will do some more questions for finding the value of k if the nature of roots are equal. And in our coming videos, I'm just going to share some questions, basically the previous year questions that you may have in last 5 years or 6 years. We will discuss all those questions in that video. Okay, so that you get a comfort exposure, like how to attempt the questions in your exams. Okay, so for more knowledge, you can subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Okay, so I'm always here to help you out. If you have any question or if you have any query, please write in the comment box. Thank you so much.